Hey guys, recently I've made a video about selling kits for the Mini 3x5x7 and the Mini Master Mental Block. So the thing is, a lot of people have asked me to make a tutorial because they're going to have to assemble it themselves. And I figured, well, I might as well make a tutorial for them and also give you a little bit of insight on how I assemble my own 3D printed puzzles. So for those who are curious, I've decided to make this video public. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to assemble both the Master Mental Block and the 3x5x7. Enjoy! So here we go. This package actually contains two puzzles, so a Master Mental Block as well as a 3x5x7, sorry. So this is what you're going to receive. You're first going to get one kit of the first puzzle. In this case, this one is the Master Mental Block. You're going to get the kit for the 3x5x7. You're going to get a sticker set for the 3x5x7, as well as a signature sticker, white sticker sheet. Don't worry, you will also get a regular white sticker sheet. There will be another sticker sheet with the Master Mental Block, same as in this case. You will get one signature and one regular sticker sheet. You will also get screws. Obviously you won't be getting that many, I just used this for the video. And you will also get a screwdriver for the screws, and my business card, which is so awesome. I just got it, it's brand new, it's great. So yeah, anyhow, so this is basically what you're gonna get. So let's start with the Master Mental Block. So take out all the pieces and sort them by type. It's going to be much easier, believe me. So I'm going to do this now. I'm just going to skip through that part. So I've spread the parts out, but I've noticed something. Two of the parts are fused together. Now that can happen when using iMaterialize. It's happened a few times, but it's always a little part that's fused, so it's not that big a deal. All you have to do is take an X-Acto knife and separate the two halves so that it doesn't really alter the mechanism. So here we go. As you can see, the corner is slightly damaged on the end, but that is not a problem on 3D printed puzzles. There's always a pretty big margin of error, so just make sure that it's smooth. Right now I'm evening it out a bit. I'm basically rounding the corner so that it still spins great. So yeah, just split them apart, round the corner, and that will be sufficient. Don't worry if it's not a pretty job. It doesn't need to be, and it's there's quite a big margin of error, as I said, so it's gonna work anyways. Same here on the other half, the other piece. Just round off the corner. Round off that edge here, and that should be fine. All right. So here we go. Here's the whole set. What I'm gonna do now is screw the centers in. So let me see. Here they are. So I put a few screws in there for you guys. Wait, let me just see if those are the right size. They're not the ones I'm gonna send you, so just give me a second. I'll be right back. Alright, sorry about that. These are the screws I'm actually gonna send you. They're a bit shorter. So here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna take a center, one of these pieces right here. This is a Master Mental Block center. And I am gonna put a screw in there and try to get it in the core, in the hole of the core, right there. I hope you'll be able to see that nicely. Alright. And screw that in. Alright. Sorry about that. I think I made the camera move a bit. Alright. And I'm going to do this with all the screws. Just before I skip that part, just let me make sure. When you screw the pieces at first, you don't want to screw them until they touch the core. You might want to leave a little bit of margin so that it's really smooth. I don't know if you can see, but still like it can still move a little bit. That's because I left about 0.5 millimeter margin between the centerpiece and the core. So yeah, it spins like that. Alright, so now I'm gonna skip the rest and show you what it's like with all the centers but one assembled. So the reason why I said all but the last center is because the last center will be assembled with the last edges. So now we're gonna do the edges. It's these pieces right here and here. So there are 8 here and 4 here. That's because these are top and bottom layer edges, and these are middle layer edges. So I'm gonna see if I can get a closer look on the core, because on this video you can't really see the shape of the core because it's so black. So let me just try to get a lamp closer to the core. Okay, I think that's slightly better. So I'm going to start by taking these bottom layer edges here, and I'm going to start assembling them onto the centers here. So between the two centers is going to be one edge right here. Alright. So as you can see, it's positioned here between two centers. Alright, so this has to be done 4 times. So turn the center, put a new edge in here, turn the center back to its original position. If you're having trouble with that, you might want to unscrew the centers and leave a bit more margin. So here it's a bit tight, so I'm gonna unscrew the centers a bit. Right. Okay, now same with this center here. I'm gonna turn it 60 degrees, put another edge in that way. This part of the assembly process is much like the regular 3x3. You just put an edge between two centers, and by turning half a turn, and then it's all good. So really, it's not that much different to the regular 3x3. So I'm gonna do that step again, one more time here, with the last bottom face edge. Here we go, and turn it back into its original position right here. It's kind of hard at the beginning to get the hang of it because the centers are actually in the shape of a sphere, so that's it's a bit difficult to turn. But here we go. I've got the 4 bottom face centers. By bottom face, I mean the one that's going to be here on the bottom. That's why they were angled at 45 degrees. It's so that the face is flat, basically. Now I'm going to assemble, well, everything but the center here. So I'm going to continue with the second layer edges, like here, for example. Alright, so I just slipped an edge between these two centers, this one here and this one here. That wasn't very difficult, so that's nice. I've got another edge coming in this way. Sorry, right here. So I'm going to push it in as well. Turn the center a bit to help it go in. Same on this side. Have to be careful because one of my bottom face centers just went loose. Sorry about that. Alright, here we go. Now, this face also has a middle layer edge in there. Now, the 2 top layer edges of that I have to put in right now. So that means before the last 3 edges, because as I said before, you put the last 3 edges in at the same time as the last centerpiece. So for now, these 3 edges that go here around the centerpiece, I'm not going to put them in. Alright, so now the edge goes in here. I'm going to unscrew the screw a bit because it's a bit tight. Alright. I'm having a lockup on the core right now. Oh, perfect. Alright, it's going in. Oh, that's why I had a piece that was blocking the way because it slipped into the wrong position. So right now I just need one more edge and then we're on to the last 3 edges. It's normal that at first it doesn't look like it's going to spin well because the pieces aren't aligned by the other pieces in the whole puzzle. This is only the first shell, so it's actually going to be stabilized by the outer mechanism. This is just the inner mechanism. Alright, so here we are. As you can see, here we have 2 edges of the top layer, 3 edges of the middle layer, and the 4 edges of the bottom layer. Alright. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to assemble the 2 remaining edges, so the 2 edges of the top layer as well as the edge of the bottom layer here. I'm going to hold it like that so that the hole is on top. Then I'm going to assemble the 3 edges. Sorry about that. I made the camera move a bit. So here we are. We've got the 3 edges in position. And now we need to put a center over it so that we can screw the whole thing in. This is going to be slightly tricky on camera. Let me see if I can get this right. Wait a second. Gonna get everything perfectly aligned. I usually don't look at what the camera's filming at the same time as I assemble the rest, so it's kind of confusing. Alright, so one edge here, one edge here, and the last edge, sorry about that, and the last edge right here. And now you put the centerpiece right there over the rest and try to screw that screw inside the hole a little bit so that it stays in position. Sorry about that. I think I found the hole. I'm not sure. That's what she said, by the way. Alright, you know what? I'm having trouble with the camera because the camera is actually just like 5 centimeters away from the cube, so it's basically blocking my view. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to try another method. It might actually be easier for you guys, so I'm going to try this. I'm going to put the center in right here first. So I'm going to screw that very slightly in, just so that the screw's inside. As you can see, the center here is really loose. And now I'm going to assemble the 3 edges, the 3 remaining edges, into their rightful positions, one by one. And the last one right here. And now I'm going to screw the last center in. Actually, this is way easier, so use that method instead of the one I was trying to show at first. I hope the resolution is going to be good enough because I can't really see what I'm filming. This is just a sports camera. My regular camera wouldn't have enough battery for this. Alright, I think I may have screwed it a bit too much. Maybe a bit too tight. Let me see. Yeah, I'm going to unscrew that a little bit. Alright. Tension adjustments are things you're going to have to worry about later. The first time you're going to assemble it, obviously it's not going to be perfectly tensioned. So you're going to have to try once, maybe disassemble it slightly, tension it again, try a second time and everything. It's not going to be a very easy process at first because you're going to get frustrated with tension. Alright, but in the end you'll be really satisfied with the results. So now that this whole core is assembled, including the middle layer, the internal puzzle, sorry, including the bottom, middle, and top layer of edges. Now you're going to start assembling the other pieces. So for example, these pieces, which are basically the sort of winglets adjacent to the centers on a master cube. I don't really know how you'd call these, but this is basically, did I say master cube? I meant master cube. This is a master cube center, and this is basically the piece that goes next to it, so it's right here. Alright, So I've got this assembled already. Now I'm going to put another one here. So this is basically just like assembling a master's cube. So if you want to practice on one of your own master's cubes, you are very welcome to do this because it will help. It's the same exact mechanism as on the mass-produced master's cube. So if you know that puzzle, it's probably going to help out. Alright, so here we go. I've got this 3x3 square assembled. These are master's cube centers, master's cube, well, winglets as I call them, but basically the pieces next to the master's cube center. And this is a master's cube edge piece. Now what comes after this are these pieces right here. The shape is quite characteristic, so you won't be picking the wrong one. You're actually going to put these right here between the 3x3 face and the middle layer edge, and you're going to put a corner in between the two. So right here is a master's cube corner. It's also the central edge piece of the 5x5 pattern on the top of the master's cube face, the master mental block face. So you've got this on one side, the corner and the two pieces, which actually correspond to the same piece as this one, the one that's next to the master's cube center, except these are going to be next to this master's cube center, which is much bigger. Just remember, this and these two pieces are the same mechanical piece. This is just on the top face, and this is on the side face. Alright, so I'm going to carry on with this. Now what you're going to do is the same every time. So you're going to put an edge piece here, put a corner piece in here, put an edge piece here. You're going to do this 4 times. See, I have this pattern right now. So one piece here, one corner piece, and one piece here. Alright, again, 4th time, one piece here, a corner piece here, and another piece right here. Also, if your fingers start getting black, that's normal. There's residue powder on these puzzles, so don't worry about it. It washes off quite easily, so not a problem here. So now you've got the bottom face almost complete. All that's left are the face corners, which are actually master's cube centers, as I said earlier, but the bigger ones. So you just have to put them in this position right here, or basically complete the face here. So same as a master's cube assembly, just put it in here, and it's fine. It fits perfectly. So you're going to do this 4 times. Once here. Be careful not to apply too much force. You never know. It's 3D printed, so it's not as rigid as ABS injection molding puzzles. Alright, here we go. I've got all 4 assembled. Now, this is what you have on the sides now. So as you can see, these pieces here are the same ones as the 2 missing ones here. So basically, the pattern that I made using these pieces and a corner piece, the assembly that I made earlier 4 times, well, you're just basically going to have to do this again. So this one goes here. So just, you might want to turn a face, just in case. So turn a face slightly, like this, so that you can actually stick it in like that. Sorry about that. So you can basically clip the piece in. This is basically just like the regular Rubik's Cube. So you do a 45-degree turn. In this case, full turns are 120 degrees, so a half turn is actually 60 degrees and not 45. But the principle is the same. You turn, you assemble, and you turn it back. So here, as you can see, enough space to push it in here and clip it. And you're gonna do this. Oh wait, maybe I didn't show it correctly. I'm gonna do it again, don't worry. Alright. Just give me a second. Sorry about that, my girlfriend came home and I forgot the keys in the lock, so she couldn't come in. So here, turn it, take an edge piece, one of these edge pieces, stick it in, clip it, and turn it back. You might notice that it's not spinning that well at first. That is normal for every single 3D printed puzzle because it's not broken in yet. You have to break it in. This is not like a regular Rubik's Cube. The ABS plastic, when you break it in, you just basically spread out the lube. Here it's not the same thing. When you break it in, it actually sands down the puzzle because the 3D printed plastic is actually quite grainy on the surface. So the more you play with it, the better it's going to turn. So that's just a property of 3D printed puzzles. That is absolutely normal. Alright, so I'm almost there. I just have to get that face to turn right here. Alright. Here we go. This is the one I'm looking for. Stick it in. And clip it. And turn the face back to where it was. Now, same thing on the other side. I hope you can see all this. The lighting is not extraordinary. I'm doing my best. I don't really have the professional equipment that I need to film this. I did buy some lighting equipment recently, but it's more for distance videos, so more of for the presentation of my videos, you know, the beginning. All right, here it is. So, same as always, push it in into its position, clip it, and turn it back. All right. Okay, there's only 2 left, so don't worry, this is going to end soon, at least for the master mental block. You can skip ahead. I'm going to put the times in the description if you only want to see the 3x5x7 anyways. Now, I've got the last sort of big edge that I have to put in here, and now I just have to put it back here. So all that's left is a cross in the middle. You have to put 4 corners, the regular Master's Cube corners, so these pieces here. I don't know if you can see them well. Let me get the light closer. There we go. So you just put them all 4 in like this. So these are gonna go in like butter, basically. It's a piece of cake. So, all right, all 4 in their respective positions. Now what's left is just a plus, the Swiss flag basically, and same as before. You turn it. You put one of these edges in. These correspond to the same piece that we've been putting for the last 5 minutes. So put it in, clip it, turn it back, do the same on the other side, turn it, put it in, clip it. Let me see if I can get that. Oh, wrong way. Put it in, clip it, and turn it back. Now all I have is a dash. Same goes here, except the clipping part is going to be a bit more challenging. It's like assembling the last edges of a 3x3. You're going to need to push some pieces around. In this case, you turn it by a small angle, and you basically pull on that piece while you clip it in. Like this. And clip it. Turn it. Do the same thing on the other side. You might want to assemble the center first right now. So what I'm going to do is, since you always assemble corners on a 3x3 before assembling the last edge. Well, this shouldn't be a challenge. I'm just going to pull the pieces apart and push it in. Should be fine. So I'm going to pull these pieces here while I push in the center piece. This is a bit challenging, but it's the same as on every single puzzle. You just pull the pieces apart, and here we go. When I say the plastic is a bit fragile, it's only fragile if you start bending a piece by hand. But when all the pieces are stuck together, you can pull it, and the tension is actually going to spread out. The force that you apply is going to spread out between the pieces, so in the end, they're going to be much more resistant as a group. So don't worry about applying some force to pull the pieces apart to assemble the center. Now, half a turn again, and this is the last piece. So again, put it in its rightful position, pull the pieces next to it, clip it in, and your master's cube is assembled. And I got the tension right because it spins really well. There's a bit of, there are some lockups. At first, it's going to lock up a bit when you try to break it in. It's going to be better and better with time, so don't worry about that. You can always lube it, because right now it spins really well, even though I didn't lube it yet, so that's really great. So, very satisfied with this one in particular. And I'm going to open it up again, because I don't want any jealous people, and if one of you gets a fully assembled puzzle, then it's not fair. Alright, so onto the 3x5x7. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing with the 3x5x7. Alright, there's a bit more pieces in the 3x5x7 than in the master mental block. So, first of all, I'm going to spread out the pieces just like last time to make it easier to assemble. Alright, so this time I've decided to spread out the pieces according to their layers. That way it's easier. So this is layer 1, this is the middle layer, and this is the third layer. So these are 5x7 layers. There are 3 of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm first going to start the same as I did with the master mental block. I'm going to start screwing the centers onto the core. So as always, pass a screw through the center, and sorry, there's residue powder. You will get some, probably, and push and turn the screw inside the hole, just like a master mental block, and start screwing it in with the screwdriver that is provided. And just like the master mental block again, leave a little bit of margin, so about 0.5 millimeter. Alright, so I'm gonna skip through the centers, and I will I'm gonna assemble. I'm gonna assemble. Let's say 5 centers. I'm gonna leave the last one out because I'm gonna assemble it with the last layer. So screw the 5 first centers. Leave out the one from the third layer. Alright, as you can see, I've assembled the first centers. Also, I've noticed something. The screwdriver that I bought fits perfectly inside the centers, which is actually quite satisfying and quite fun, even though it's not very useful. And I did take a big risk because I didn't really know the size of the screwdrivers when I bought them. Anyhow, before I go any further, know that in those centers I found a lot of powder residue. This is normal and it can happen since these puzzles were 3D printed, and inside their center boxes there's some residue powder left. So it doesn't matter, you just have to take it out, and there's always going to be residue powder anyways, which is why when you play with it, the powder's going to come off at first, and then it'll get better with time. Also, second detail with 3D printing, pieces can be fragile, and sometimes during 3D printing or during shipping or anything, some tiny pieces such as this one can break because they have some very tiny hooks. I don't know if I can put them. Yeah, here you can see it. Very tiny hooks. So if you have any broken pieces, tell me and I will contact iMaterialize to get a replacement. It can happen, so I hope that it didn't, but out of 43 packages, it's almost 100% sure that it did happen. So if that happened to you, I'm sorry in advance. I know it can happen, and it can be really annoying. So I'm going to start assembling that. See these edges here that I can pair them up, and it's going to be easier later on. I'm going to pair all these edges up here and here. So this is going to be the edges of my second layer. All right. I'm basically reducing it to 3x3 for assembly. That way it's just assembled like a regular Rubik's Cube. So same here, I'm going to make the corners, like that with this piece on top and this one here. So let me show you from up close what it's going to look like. It's going to look like this with multiple pieces here. All right. So this is something I'm going to do 8 times. So here's the second one. You know what? I'm going to speed up that part of the video. Okay, as you can see, I've also paired up the edges. So for example, here you've got an edge piece made of 3 pieces. All right. This is going to make everything much easier for the assembly. So now I have my core right here. So I'm going to, sorry, I exploded the edge that I was building. So here I have my edge piece. I'm going to turn on the lights so that you can see more clearly what I'm doing. So just like a regular 3x3, I'm going to bring it here, into the lights, and I'm going to bring it down here to the bottom face. Same thing with the opposite edge. So I'm pairing up the edge, and I'm going to bring it here. So basically I've assembled a 3x7 sort of turning on the second light so it's better. I've assembled a 1x7 row basically. I screwed up the assembly that I made of that corner, so I'm gonna fix that. I'm a bit how do you say? Anyways, I don't remember the word. All right, so next edge, right here. Again, this is just a 3x3 edge, so I'm gonna put it in there and assemble it like a 3x3. So I've got the edge here. Now I'm gonna bring another one here and turn it to put it in its rightful place right here. So I've got the 4 edges of the bottom face in their correct position. And now I'm going to put it right here. So let me see if I can get you to see that more clearly. All right, I'm going to get the camera closer as well. It might be better. All right, I think that's slightly better. Okay, so now I've got my 3x3 corner made out of 6 pieces right here. I'm going to turn it around and put it where it belongs. So this is kind of tricky because there are some pieces that are not attached to anything. So I'm actually gonna put it on the ground and try to bring it up without Okay, no, this is not gonna work. I'm just gonna put the two pieces that are getting loose right now are the two tiny pieces. Sorry, I'm making the camera move again. They're these two tiny pieces right here. So I'm gonna put them first. It's probably gonna be easier, so that's the easy method. And then I'm gonna finish that corner with the rest of the pieces that I'm gonna insert like a regular 3x3 corner. And let's see if it works. Oh, I got one that I screwed up. Shouldn't be a problem. I'm gonna put it back as if I was assembling a higher order cube. Just give me a second, and here we go. So normally, yes, the corner is in place. And if I want to, which is something I am gonna want to do, is I'm gonna seal it off with a regular 3x3 second layer edge. So, like this, same as a 3x3, you do a half turn, push it in, and undo the half turn. So this is something I'm gonna do for every single corner out there. So let me show you a second example, and then I will speed up the rest of the video so that you don't have to wait every time I'm doing this. Sorry about that. I'm moving the camera again. It's not really a choice. It's hard not to touch it because, again, sports cam, so the angle is quite huge. Therefore, every time that I film from up close, the camera is basically 5 centimeters away from the puzzle. So I can't really get pieces into it without touching the camera. Here we go. So that's the second part. It's actually really easy to assemble that way. I really recommend the method where you actually pair up corners and pair up edges because it really makes you gain a lot of easiness in the assembly. Otherwise, there's just a lot of difficulty to assemble the whole thing because it's like assembling a higher order cube. It's always much harder when there are a lot of small pieces. So yeah, this assembly is actually quite fast this way, quite easy. So really, I'm really satisfied about that one. Sorry about that, making the camera move again. Alright, so I've got 3/4 of the first and second layer. I'm actually not even going to need to speed that up in the end because it's actually quite fast, and I'm almost at the second layer. I mean the third layer, which is quite surprising considering that I'm basically assembling a quite high order cuboid. 5 and 7 is quite big. So alright, last second layer edge to seal the whole first layer and everything. Alright, I've got this done. Okay, now the last face is actually going to be much easier, believe it or not, because we haven't yet put the center in place. We haven't screwed it in. So basically, I'm going to take that corner piece, well, corner group that I've made earlier, this one, and I'm going to put it in as a corner. Then I'm going to put an edge. I lost a few pieces along the way. Put it in as an edge right here. Then I'm going to take another corner, put it in, same as always. This is basically a 3x3 I'm assembling, so it's quite easy. You just have to pair up the pieces before assembling it, and it's fine. Now I'm going to take another 3x3 corner, trying not to make the camera move. It's not very easy. Sorry about that again. Now a 3x3 edge right here. A 3x3 corner again. Sorry about that. It's getting tricky. Sorry, I basically moved everything, so it's hard to juggle between watching what I'm doing on the video on the video feed, because I actually have a phone that you can see what I'm filming on, and between balancing, I mean between watching this, watching what I'm doing, and it's getting complicated, and not touching the camera. because I failed again. Alright, so here we are. Last corner set of pieces. Now I have to fit in that last 3x3 edge. This is going to be a little bit more complicated. As you can see, there's sort of an angle. There's piece tension in there. The parts are quite tense here because I assembled it quite tight. Okay, and now guess who's last? Just that little tiny centerpiece that we didn't screw in the beginning. Let me just take the camera away because this is going to be difficult to screw in. Turn off those cameras and try to get a better view. Actually, it's so dark. I'd better leave the cameras on. When you receive the puzzle, you'll see that it looks dark blue and not black. That's just because of the dye. It doesn't really dye deep black. I mean, so don't worry about this because when you put stickers on, it's not gonna show. It looks black, so it's fine. Every single 3D printed puzzle out there has that particularity, unless you start dyeing them with acetone and stuff like that. I personally don't want to take the chance because I've never tried it, and this is and I was dyeing 42 puzzles at the same time. So if I ruin 42 puzzles at once, it's probably gonna be terrible for my bank account. So so yeah, I'm just adjusting the tensions right now. All right. What's great is, as I said, you know, like this hole for the screws, the screwdriver fits perfectly in it. So basically, there's no need to find the screw in there. As soon as you put the screwdriver in, it's already aligned with the screw. So that's quite nice. And let me get some height here, and we've got our functional 3x5x7. Not lubed yet, and it spins quite well. It's nice. All right, well, that'll be it. Again, same as the master mental block, I'm gonna disassemble it because, well, if I don't, 41 people are gonna be jealous, and the last person is gonna be happy. So it's not really cool. It's not very nice. And here we go. Boom. It's so much easier to disassemble. I could make a disassembly tutorial right now. That's actually what I'm doing right now. It's basically a disassembly tutorial. Okay, that's how you disassemble the 3x5x7. Hey guys, so that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video or found it useful. And for those who bought a 3x5x7 or a master mental block, know that I will be shipping them out on Monday, so I'm almost done with the first batch. For those who didn't get a chance, I will be making a second batch very soon, so you can still contact me. So that's it for me for today. Don't hesitate, as always, to like my Facebook page or subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see you next time.